funeral home right here in Taylor Road. So every Sunday they said Mass in Loomis at the chapel in the funeral home. And I can remember so clearly as if it were yesterday, the first Sunday morning driving up the freeway to find the funeral home for the Mass in Loomis. I remember it as if it were yesterday. It was a beautiful, beautiful morning, just like we say this morning, with clear skies and it was warm, and there was Mass up there. And one little side thing was, I don't know if there are any people here from Loomis, but the Loomis people did not care in a very loving way. People of Rockland. Now that isn't just a make-up notion. I guess, you know, anytime the kids, the teenagers or whatever would be coming through Rockland, they were actually beaten up by the Rockland Clubs. Baptized a woman up there after I came, went up to her home, she was 85, and I said, you know more about this whole religion than I do, let's have the baptism. And we had built a church over in Granite Drive. Well, she said, I'm not going to be baptized in Rockland, wherever I want to be baptized. That was her strong feeling, and so I had to call Auburn, and we had the baptism in Auburn. So the church opened in 1960 to have Mass in Loomis, and I arrived, as I say, on May 1st, and I can remember the Saturday evening. It is very similar to as you are now. There were people standing around the walls, and every seat was taken. Now, over here, there was a little sacristy. Now, those who are Catholic know that's where we keep the vestments and the chalices and things like that. And over here, there was a little confessional. And I went out to church, Mass was at 5 o'clock, so I went out around 4 o'clock, and it was deadly hot. I never in my life had drank warm wine, but the wine was a warm wine. Very, very warm. And I drove down the street here. You know, the street hasn't changed at all. This street is just about the same. And at the back, the big oak tree is still out there. Well, there were about 4 or 5 horses under the oak tree. And I opened the little back door to let in some air. And there were fans. Remember the fans that were up, at least kept the air moving. Well, I standing up, the podium was at this side, and a horse line takes the light. And whoever had to speak, and they go, they hear I'm very still. The horse line pestered me. I couldn't get rid of it. And also I remember that I said if I ever move from one parish to another again, I will move on the Sunday I finish, and I won't begin again until the Saturday. I left one parish on a Friday night, and I began Saturday morning on the next one. And there is an attachment. There is an ending, and you need some time to recover to begin again. And here are all these people, a new parish was being established, and I really hadn't given it very much thought. And I remember saying we need to give a new name because it's a new beginning to the parish. Now, the people made all kinds of suggestions, but probably deep down I had already decided. Peter and Paul. And for those among you who are living through Catholic change and all the rest of it in the past 40 or 50 years, if you go back to the beginning of Christianity, you're 2 very different men, Peter and Paul. They would go to meetings, and Paul was a very, very idealistic man. But Peter would promise and not follow through. But that's how the church was in the beginning. It was in the middle, and it will be until the end of time, that we won't all agree. And so I said, here are the two pillars of the infant church who have the disagreements, and it will be all right if we too have our disagreements as life goes along. So that's why Peter and Paul appealed to me. Now, the church was not in as good a condition as it is now. And after about 3 or 4 months, well, one thing that struck me was when I came out of church, we had Mass at St. Mary's at 9:30 and 11. And God rest her, Ione Markman was selling vegetables from her garden. And I said to myself, gee, have we gone back? We've gone way back. She was selling vegetables. She died here maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And her son, Dick Meyer, still lives and is active in the parish. But that struck me.